Let's dive into the dark and mysterious world of the Borgias, one of Italy's most infamous families during the Renaissance. Rodrigo Borgia rose to power by becoming Pope Alexander VI, now not through piety, but by using bribery, manipulation, and crafty alliances. His children, Cesare and Lucrezia, were equally known for their rumored involvement in all kinds of secretive schemes, including poisoning their political enemies. Yeah, talk about family fun day, let's go poison some people. The Borgias' reign became a symbol of corruption within the Catholic Church, where moral lines were blurred in the pursuit of power. But with every move came new enemies, of course, that's how history and everything works. So imagine a pope using a sacred position for political gain. That never happens, right? That's never happened in the history ever. Number 9, the Yamadas. Travel to feudal Japan, we find the Yamada family, known as fierce samurai warlords during the turbulent Sengoku period. Now this was an era when loyalty and alliances were always shifting, and the Yamadas played it well for a time. They rose to power through strategic alliances and fearless tactics on the battlefield. That was their play, they would just cut everyone up. But with every rise comes resistance, and the Yamadas soon found themselves in a web of betrayal and infighting. Rival clans sought to destroy them, and eventually internal strife tore them apart. Yeah, they were all betrayed. They were gotta watch your back, right? Was it the unforgiving nature of feudal Japan that caused their downfall, or could the Yamada family have maintained their power if they had remained united on the inside? Number 8, the Ptolemies. One of the oldest families on this list, going back to 300 BCE. The Ptolemies ruled Egypt after Alexander the Great's empire fractured, but their reign was filled with more drama than dance moms. I mean, it was really crazy back then. Sibling rivalry took on a whole new meaning, with brothers and sisters plotting against each other for the throne, Game of Thrones style, you know? Cleopatra, the last of the Ptolemaic dynasty, famously aligned herself with Julius Caesar and later Mark Antony in a bid to secure her reign. But family betrayals and internal power struggles weakened the dynasty over time. How much of their downfall was due to strategic missteps, and how much was simply a case of family drama spiraling out of control? Sounds like a family Monopoly night. Everyone's just mad at each other, yelling. That's a McWater's Monopoly night right there. Number 7, the Tudors. The Tudors are one of Britain's most famous dynasties, and for good and bad reasons. Henry VIII's desperation for a male heir led to the of 2 wives, not to mention his monumental decision to break away from the Catholic Church. He was doing things a bit different back then. They have a whole musical about the, you've seen it. His daughter, Mary I, got that, Mary nickname. That was because of her persecution of Protestants, while his other daughter, Elizabeth I, brought about the golden age of England. Very different young ladies there. Did the Tudors' relentless pursuit of power justify their ruthless actions, or were they simply products of their time navigating in these harsh political landscapes? I mean, to be fair, it probably was hard growing up with, that guy as your dad, so can't blame them too much here. Number 6, the Romanovs. For over 300 years, the Romanovs ruled Russia with an iron grip, but their dynasty met a tragic and sudden end during the Russian Revolution. Tsar Nicholas II's reign was marked by poor decision-making, particularly during World War I, which led to widespread unrest and dissatisfaction. The revolutionaries saw the Romanovs as a symbol of the old oppressive regime, and in 1917, the entire family was imprisoned, and then later they were as a group. Their downfall remains one of history's most dramatic moments, and yeah, I can agree with that, absolutely. Let's move on. Number 5, the Habsburgs. The Habsburg family was one of Europe's most powerful dynasties, controlling vast territories that spanned from Austria to Spain, everywhere, you name it. Their strategy for maintaining power included arranged marriages within the family to preserve their bloodline, but this also, of course, led to health issues like the infamous Habsburg jaw. Now, despite their impressive empire, their obsession with power and purity led to frequent wars and revolts, eventually contributing to the collapse of their reign. Yeah, that's what happens when your family, each other. So something's gonna get weird down the road. Jaw's gonna get a little bit messy, right? That's science. Number 4, the Sforzas. The Sforzas were a military family who gained control of Milan through sheer force and cunning alliances. They became the city's rulers, but their grip on power was, of course, never secure, as are any of the grips in this list. Top 10 grips. Betrayals, warfare, and constant power struggles defined their rule, with enemies always plotting to bring them down. There's always those shifty fellows in the bushes looking up at you, plotting. Their reign ended in turmoil, weakened by internal conflicts and rivalries. The Sforzas were doomed by their reliance on brutal methods, and they also could have maintained control had they focused on more diplomatic solutions. So, I don't know, maybe a little less violence, a little more talky-talky. Might save a few things. Number 3, the Rothschilds. The Rothschild family is one of the most influential banking dynasties in Europe, amassing extraordinary wealth and power. These guys were rich, okay? When you're rich, you can do pretty much anything you want, depending on the time period. Their financial prowess was unmatched, but with great power came great rumors rumors and conspiracy theories. Many speculated that the Rothschilds were secretly controlling world events from the shadows, like, you know, Illuminati style, right? Someone's gonna pause that right there and I'm gonna get canceled. However, despite their whispers, their legacy in banking and philanthropy remains strong, so we haven't cracked it just yet. Are the stories about their hidden power based on reality, or are they just the product of envy and suspicion? I'm gonna say a little bit of both. Number 2, the Kennedys. The Kennedys are often referred to as America's royal family, right? But their story is filled with both triumph and tragedy. From John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy to the many personal misfortunes that the families faced, their legacy is often overshadowed by the so-called Kennedy curse. Now, despite this, the family's influence in politics and culture remains undeniable. Is the Kennedy curse real, or is this just a series of unfortunate events that we've looked too hard into? I mean, who was that guy with the umbrella, right? Did we ever crack that? Who was that man? You don't need an umbrella, it's a sunny day. And finally, number 1, the Bonapartes. Napoleon Bonaparte's rise from a military general to emperor of France was honestly the stuff of legends. Great movie also, Joaquin Phoenix, so good. After crowning himself emperor in 1804, Napoleon expanded his empire, placing his family members in position of power across Europe. However, his ambition was his undoing. They would call him like the little king or something, or like little man or something. I mean, would you really want to piss a guy off like this? No, okay? Following a series of military defeats, most notably at the Battle of Waterloo, his empire eventually crumbled and the Bonaparte family's influence never fully recovered. Napoleon's unquenchable thirst for power eventually led to his downfall, and his empire was always destined to collapse under its own weight. It was just a matter of when. Stop calling him like a short king or something. Like, it's Napoleon Bonaparte, and people online will still be like, he was short. It's like, he was Napoleon Bonaparte. Are you kidding? Can't win. Those are some terrible families. Comment down below if we missed anyone, and we'll see you next time on Bumblebee. I'm Taylor McWaters. Bye. Bumblebee. That's how I warm up every shift. Come in, I go, Bumblebee. Me and Ched, we'd always do that. Pope Alexander VI. Now, not through piety. Piety, that's a new one, huh? Piety, nothing to do with pie. You wouldn't know that. Did their fixation on family purity and control lead to their downfall, or were they simply victims of Europe's complex political landscape? Let's cut that last part out. I don't want to keep ending with these family feud questions or whatever. The Rothschild family became one of the most influential banking. The Rothschild family became one of the most influential, that's the word. The Rothschild became, you know what? I'm gonna have a sip of coffee, it's early. So we're not talking all morning and then just yelling about these horrible, horrible people. The Rothschild family became one of most, why can't I say this?